Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital GH teasers, Drew Cameron Matheson may be about to make a devastating discovery. Fans of General Hospital know that Judge Heron Tessa Bergenois sided with Michael Corinthos Rory Gibson in court, but it wasn't a fair fight. Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, paid Judge Heron to give Michael full custody of Wiley Corinthos, Viren Weaver, and Amelia Corinthos, Sequoia and Serenity Mork Mako. Judge Heron was paid generously to find in Michael's favor, thus the custody curveball was had to come out sooner or later. What if Drew discovers the stunner and finds himself in a difficult situation? Drew has an association with Sidwell and Ezra Boyle, Daniel Cosgrove, thus it's possible that the information will end up in his hands. Drew may overhear something he shouldn't have, or Ezra may tell Drew what Sidwell did. Drew may end up angry since Sidwell cost Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, her children. Drew, on the other hand, may have a reason to remain silent for the time being. After all, uncovering the judge's bribery might result in another custody trial with a different judge, who may be significantly more willing to grant custody to Amelia and Wiley's mother. Willow is only rushing into this marriage because she believes it is important to get her children back. If the judge's bribery is revealed, Willow may cancel the wedding, or at least Drew fears so. It's easy to see Drew finding out about the bribe and keeping it hidden until he can legally marry Willow. Willow may be in for another unpleasant surprise when all of Drew's wicked actions are revealed. Drew's every move is selfish and manipulative, so we can easily imagine him keeping the judge bribery drama hidden until it is most beneficial to him. Drew might suppress the truth long enough to trap Willow into marriage, then pretend to find Judge Heron is dirty after she's locked in. According to General Hospital teasers, Drew will tighten his grip on Willow even more in the coming episodes, so keep an eye out for updates on all the drama. CDL will have more spicy General Hospital spoilers, updates, and news to share, so consider us your go-to GH source. Jocelyn met Michael at the Q Mansion before Daisy's baptism. He wanted the opportunity to explain why she was not going to be Daisy's godmother. Joss thought Felicia and Jason were fantastic alternatives and pledged to be there for Daisy in the same way that Jason, who was also her godfather, had always been. Joss went on to tell Michael how much he had been there for her, and how while he was in Germany, she felt like the family's heart and anchor had gone away. Michael said it sounded like they stayed busy while he was away, and he wanted her to tell him everything about Easter Island and the internship. She avoided telling him anything for the time being, claiming they'd catch up over lunch. Michael informed her that the children missed their mother, and that Willow and Drew were planned to marry. Joss was upset but not startled, and she didn't want Willow's actions to ruin what should have been a really memorable day. Felicia and Sasha were eagerly awaiting the next ceremony in the kitchen, but Felicia was still perplexed as to why Sasha had previously informed everyone that Jason was Daisy's father. Sasha emphasized that she did not want her child drawn into Michael's problems. Sasha was once again thanking Cody for becoming a part of the Scorpio family when he stepped up carrying a massive plush elephant. The stuffed elephant came from Robert and Holly, who were obviously not going to be present. Sasha confirmed that she had been sending a lot of images, but had largely communicated with Robert and less with Holly. Felicia left to get Daisy after hearing her cry on the monitor. Cody and Sasha took a few moments to catch up. He could tell Sasha was concerned during their conversation. She expressed her suspicions that something strange was going on and told him about the bizarre episodes, beginning with bringing her the wrong baby to the hospital. Cody tried to calm her down with logical explanations and convinced her that she and the baby would be fine. Ada Turner, or Justine as Sonny nicknamed her, arrived at his place. She instantly informed him that they did not know each other by first name, and that she was there to find out why he brought her a box with a beautiful baseball glove. Sonny denied sending it, but Turner was suspicious and warned him that providing gifts to public officials was a risky proposition. If it was interpreted as a bribe, it would be a felony. Sonny continued to deny sending the glove, implying that it must have been delivered by a very caring comrade. Turner insisted that Sonny had sent it. Christina arrived to accompany her father to the christening. She thanked Turner for everything she had done during Ava's trial. Turner stated unequivocally that she was willing to do whatever to bring offenders to justice, because it was her job. Christina questioned her presence after Turner had left. When Christina walked to the kitchen, Sunny called someone and told them Turner had shown a bit too much interest and there would be a change of plans with Natalia. Brooklyn met Natalia in her suite at the Metro Court. Natalia wanted to speak with Brooklyn quietly and warn her that deception was in peril. As she sipped an alcoholic beverage, she informed Brooklyn that the money trail for Sunny's investment in deception was not clean, and she clarified that this was not due to Sunny's lying, but rather to a clerical error on the part of his financial staff. Natalia believed Brooklyn could protect deception by having Sunny dive for safety in optics, with the possibility that no one would notice in the first place. Brooklyn wondered why she was coming forward now and hadn't told her earlier. Natalia stated that she did not inform her until she was certain, but she did not want to proceed without saying something. Natalia also stated that her children Marco and Allison had some influence on her decision to come out. When you have two children who don't want anything to do with you, you have to face some difficult facts about yourself. Perhaps I should be a better person and mother. She went on to concede that she had made numerous mistakes with them, and she continued to refuse to consider her children's lives as anything other than squandered opportunities. She believed she had destroyed her family. Brooklyn tried to console her by stating there was still time to fix everything, but Natalia wasn't convinced. She thought that staying would only get in the way of Marco's new life, and she attempted to tell herself that it was good to leave because she had a future ahead of her. Natalia was gazing at images of Belize after Brooklyn had left when she heard a knock on the door. Paul, one of Sunny's men, came to inform Natalia that there had been a change of plans and that she was going immediately now. She wanted to depart with Sunny, but Paul informed her that he would not be leaving. She was perplexed and unhappy to hear that, and she informed Paul that she would need an hour to pack. Ava stood disillusioned in her hotel room, beginning to cry, realizing she had built herself a story about a new life that was not genuine. Feeling abandoned, she took her handbag and fled the hotel room. Carly and Jason arrived at the church early. Carly thought it was fitting that he would be the godfather since it would allow him to care over Daisy in the same way that he had always done for her and Michael. The two went down memory lane, reminiscing Jason caring for Michael while Carly was suffering from postpartum depression, as well as the turmoil of Michael's baptism. They also discussed security. Jason assured her that they had everything securely guarded and safeguarded. Michael and Sunny greeted Carly and Jason at the church. They were all delighted, proclaiming the value of family. Brooklyn, Felicia, Sasha, Daisy and Chase have arrived. Chase joked that he was unhappy that not everyone would be present because it would have been amusing to have Sunny, Robert, and Mac all gathered around the baptismal font. Brooklyn took Chase aside to express her concern about alerting Maxie that deception could be in big trouble. Chase interrupted her as she began to explain that Sunny's second investment in deception was not clean, saying they could not discuss it. Brooklyn realized he knew something when the movie cut to Turner entering Anna's office. Around the baptismal font, Sunny informed Jason of Ada Turner's visit to his home. He explained his strategy to get Natalia out of town early, so she wouldn't run across Turner or anyone else. Sunny said Paul was going to put her on a plane to Belize, and it would all be done. Everyone began to gather as the christening approached, but were surprised when Natalia strolled into the church and sat in a rear row. Jordan and Anna were meeting in her PCPD office. After Anna finished calling to request a warrant for today, she and Jordan discussed Curtis and Portia. Jordan described her confrontation at the Metro Court pool, where Portia poured iced tea at her. Jordan felt it was always Portia's style to be dramatic and produce a spectacle, but she admitted Portia may not be overreacting in this situation because she still carried a passion for Curtis. She said Curtis had requested her to come to his Aurora office today, but she prayed she could resolve the struggle between her mind and her heart before she arrived. Her heart desires Curtis, but her mind does not want to do to Portia's marriage what she believes Portia did to her own. Anna assumed Curtis felt the same way as Jordan, but she should have an open and honest chat with him about everything. Jordan was unsure she could be around him anymore. Anna was browsing through files after Jordan had departed. She called Ada Turner and informed her that an issue had arisen in a file that needed to be addressed right away. When Turner arrived, Anna showed her a file intended for Chase that had unintentionally dropped on her desk. It was a case file involving Sunny, from which Turner had removed Anna and Dante. Anna stated that she had seen enough of the file to know that everything needed to stop right now and informed Turner that she would not be permitted to conduct an investigation through her department and employ her police while excluding her. Turner claimed she omitted Anna because she couldn't trust her when it came to dealing with Sonny. Anna advised her that if she didn't trust her, she shouldn't end-run her and instead go to internal affairs, to which Turner agreed. Portia approached Curtis at his Aurora office, hoping to discuss. Curtis believed it wasn't a good moment, but Portia was curious. Was he helping her with Drew to salvage their marriage? Or was he using it as a pretext to get her out of trouble so he could leave her for good? Curtis stated that all he wanted was for her to be free of Drew, and for him to lose any power over her. Whatever was going on between them was not high on his priority list. Indignant, Portia demanded that he move them up his list, because she did not want to be stuck in limbo forever waiting to see if he believed their marriage was worth fighting for. Portia stated that she was willing to fight for their marriage, even though he may not be. Curtis told Portia that he didn't want to keep her in limbo, but if they got into it right now, she wouldn't like what he said. I may not like it, but I'd like to hear it. I need to, she replied. Curtis believed Drew would never have pursued her if he hadn't had a falling out with her, but he also felt they wouldn't be in this predicament if she hadn't lied. He chastised Portia for not fulfilling her commitment not to lie to him again. He was upset, deceived, and surprised that she was so naive to place their family in this situation. Portia appreciated what he had to say, but also wanted to express her own ideas. She claimed she knew a little about being hurt and betrayed because he continued bringing up Trina, despite the fact that they had dealt with it a long time before. She reasoned that she kept Trina's paternity a secret to protect her, and that changing Heather Weber's test results was just another attempt to protect her. She promised to do all it takes to safeguard their daughter. Even though she knew Curtis would want her to regret what she had done, she refused. When Curtis snarkily commented that she was finally being honest, Portia replied, "Phew, I'm so weary of living in dread of your judgment. Your impossible high standards. You have to be correct every time we speak." She was worried that no matter how hard she tried, she would fall short of the perfect woman he imagined. Portia claimed that she was a human being who made mistakes, but those mistakes shouldn't ruin their relationship. She believed that marriage entailed working on things and growing together, but Curtis replied, "Secrets can't be the way married people handle their problems." When he informed her she couldn't keep secrets from him, she reminded him that he didn't tell her about his scheme with Michael to take Drew down, which began it all in the first place. When he expressed regret for what he had started with Drew, she told him to preserve it. She wanted some understanding. Curtis felt he was already showing her empathy, but Portia believed Curtis perceived what he did as distinct from what she did. He said, "Because there are differences." Port said, "No, there's hypocrisy and irony." To emphasize her argument, Portia told Curtis that she loved him when he went to any length to defend his family, but when she did, he used it as an excuse to split up their family. Curtis agreed she was correct in protecting Trina, but stated that they had different notions about what that looked like, and so the repercussions of their differing thoughts looked different as well. She reminded him that she had repeatedly apologized to him, and that at some point, he would have to tell her how she could make things right. He stated that he was not convinced she could. Portia was surprised to think that this was how it was going to end. She said she knew he'd never do what she did, but she would never make him feel the way he was making her feel right now. She wanted them to rediscover the joy and happiness they once had. When she inquired if there was any hope, he kissed her. Drew's shocking discovery and Willow's custody nightmare. General Hospital spoilers hint that Drew Cameron Matheson, may soon uncover a bombshell secret, one that could upend Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, custody victory. Fans know Judge Heron, Tessa Bergenois, ruled in Michael's favor, granting him full custody of Wiley, Viren Weaver, and Amelia, Sequoia and Serenity Mork-Mako. But the verdict wasn't earned fairly, it was bought. Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda, bribed the judge to ensure Michael won. A dirty secret that can't stay hidden forever. Now Drew might stumble upon the truth, putting him in a difficult position. Given his alliance with Sidwell and Ezra Boyle, Daniel Cosgrove, the information could easily fall into his lap, whether through an overheard conversation or Ezra's loose lips. If Drew learns Sidwell rigged the case, he'll be furious. Willow, Caitlin McMullen, lost her children because of corruption. But will he expose the truth? Not necessarily. Revealing the bribery could trigger a new custody hearing, one where a different judge might side with Willow. And if that happens, she might call off her rushed wedding to Drew. Selfish as ever, Drew could bury the scandal until after the wedding, ensuring Willow is legally bound to him before the truth surfaces. It's just another layer to his manipulation, keeping Willow trapped while pretending to be her savior. Jocelyn and Michael's tense reunion. Before Daisy's christening, Jocelyn met with Michael at the Quartermaine mansion. He explained why she wasn't chosen as godmother, but Joss, though disappointed, understood Felicia and Jason were solid choices. She reassured Michael she'd always be there for Daisy, just as Jason had been for her. Their conversation turned emotional when Joss admitted how much she missed Michael while he was in Germany. He'd been the family's anchor. Michael, eager to reconnect, asked about her internship, but Joss dodged the topic, suggesting they catch up later. When he mentioned Willow and Drew's impending marriage, Joss was furious but refused to let it ruin Daisy's big day. Felicia's questions and Cody's reassurance. Meanwhile, Felicia and Sasha prepped for the christening in the kitchen. Felicia couldn't help but ask why Sasha had previously claimed Jason was Daisy's father. Sasha explained she wanted to shield her daughter from Michael's drama. Cody arrived with a giant stuffed elephant from Robert and Holly, sparking a brief chat about their absence. As Felicia left to tend to Daisy, Cody noticed Sasha's unease. She confessed her lingering fears. First the hospital's baby mix-up, then other strange incidents. Cody offered logical explanations, assuring her everything would be okay. Sonny's gift backfires. Ada Turner Justine confronted Sonny at his home about an expensive baseball glove sent to her. Though Sonny denied sending it, Turner warned that gifts to public officials could be seen as bribes, a felony. Their tense exchange was interrupted by Christina, who thanked Turner for her work on Ava's case. Turner coldly replied that prosecuting criminals was her job before leaving. Once alone, Sonny made a cryptic call, mentioning Turner's too much interest, and a sudden change of plans involving Natalia. Natalia's warning and sudden exit. At the Metro Court, Natalia pulled Brooke Lynn aside with urgent news. Sonny's investment in deception had a messy paper trail. Though Sonny hadn't lied, his financial team's error could spell trouble. Natalia urged Brooke Lynn to have Sonny divest before anyone noticed. Brooke Lynn questioned Natalia's motives, but Natalia admitted her strained relationship with her kids, Marco and Allison, had forced self-reflection. "I destroyed my family," she confessed. Though Brooke Lynn offered hope, Natalia insisted she'd only hinder Marco's new life. After Brooke Lynn left, Sonny's enforcer, Paul, arrived unexpectedly. Natalia was ordered to leave immediately, without Sonny. Though confused, she reluctantly agreed to pack. Ava's breakdown and Carly's nostalgia. Ava, alone in her hotel room, crumbled under the weight of her shattered illusions. Realizing her new life was a lie, she grabbed her purse and stormed out. Meanwhile, Carly and Jason arrived early at the church. Carly reflected on Jason becoming Daisy's godfather, just as he'd always protected her and Michael. They reminisced about Michael's chaotic christening and discussed security. Jason assured her everything was under control. Christening tensions and Turner's investigation. As the ceremony neared, Brooke Lynn confided in Chase about deception's financial risks. Before she could explain, Chase cut her off, clearly already aware, just as the scene shifted to Turner entering Anna's office. Anna, reviewing misplaced files, confronted Turner about secretly investigating Sonny without her knowledge. Turner admitted she didn't trust Anna's impartiality, prompting Anna to challenge her. If Turner doubted her integrity, she should take it to internal affairs. Turner coolly replied, "I might." Curtis and Portia's marriage crisis. At Aurora, Portia confronted Curtis, demanding to know if he was helping her with Drew to save their marriage, or to leave her afterward. Curtis admitted his priority was freeing her from Drew's leverage, not their relationship. Portia, frustrated, accused him of hypocrisy. He'd hidden his plot with Michael, yet condemned her secrets. Though Curtis argued their motives differed, Portia fired back. "No, there's hypocrisy and irony." Their heated exchange ended with Curtis kissing her, leaving their future painfully uncertain. The piercing wail of police sirens cut through the quiet morning air as Detective Anna Cortez maneuvered her unmarked sedan through the sparse downtown traffic. Her knuckles whitened around the steering wheel while her partner, Detective Chase Bennett, studied the GPS on his phone with focused intensity. The dispatch call had come through less than 20 minutes prior. A body discovered in the industrial sector, and the chief had specifically requested their team to lead the investigation. Anna jerked the wheel sharply to avoid a lumbering delivery van, the tires protesting with an ear-piercing squeal. "How much longer?" she demanded, her tone clipped with urgency. Chase didn't look up from his phone. 2.5 minutes, assuming you don't get us both killed first. A ghost of a smirk flickered across Anna's face, but her dark eyes remained serious. In homicide cases, every minute mattered. The first 48 hours were critical, and wasted time could mean lost evidence, contaminated leads, or worst of all, a killer disappearing into the wind. The industrial district rose before them, a maze of looming warehouses and derelict factories bathed in the eerie half-light of dawn. Their destination was an old textile mill, its rusted chain-link fence sagging under years of neglect. The scene was already swarming with patrol officers, their flashing squad cars splashing the area in alternating pulses of red and blue. Before the car had even fully stopped, Anna was out, her badge already in hand as her boots hit the cracked asphalt. Chase was right behind her, his sharp gaze cataloging every detail: the uneven pavement, the weeds pushing through concrete, the acrid mix of motor oil and something faintly organic hanging in the damp air. Uniformed officers stood sentry near the fluttering crime scene tape, their expressions grim. A young cop Anna recognized from a previous case gave them a tight nod and lifted the tape to let them pass. "Detectives," he said, his voice low. "Victims inside. Fair warning, it's bad." Anna and Chase exchanged a glance before stepping forward. The interior of the warehouse was dim, the only light filtering through grime-covered windows. The metallic tang of blood hit Anna's senses immediately, thick, cloying, unmistakable. The victim, a man in his late 30s, dressed in a disheveled business suit, lay sprawled near the center of the concrete floor. His throat had been slashed with brutal efficiency, the wound gaping and deep. A dark pool of blood spread beneath him, still glistening wet under the flickering fluorescent lights. Chase crouched beside the body, careful not to disturb the scene. "No defensive wounds," he murmured. Either he knew his attacker, or he never saw it coming. Anna circled the perimeter, her trained eyes scanning for anything out of place. A single set of footprints disturbed the thick dust, approaching the body then retreating. No shell casings. No signs of a struggle, just swift clinical violence. "Over here," she called suddenly, spotting a glint of metal near the victim's outstretched hand. Chase joined her as she pointed to a small silver key, the kind that might fit a locker or a safe deposit box. "That could be important," Chase said, snapping a quick photo before the forensic team bagged it. The sound of approaching footsteps made them both turn. The medical examiner, Dr. Lynn, strode in, her usual calm demeanor intact despite the gruesome sight. "You two beat me here," she remarked, setting her kit down beside the body. "We had incentive," Anna replied. "What's your initial read?" Dr. Lynn adjusted her gloves and leaned in. "Rigor's just setting in, so time of death was recent, within the last 2 hours. The wound suggests a very sharp blade, possibly a hunting knife or surgical tool. And judging by the clean edges, whoever did this had experience." Chase frowned. "Professional job?" "Possibly," Anna said. "But we won't know for sure until we ID the victim and figure out who wanted him dead." Outside, the forensic team was already setting up, their cameras flashing as they documented every inch of the scene. Anna and Chase stepped back to let them work, their minds racing with unanswered questions. Who was this man? Why was he killed here in this forgotten place? And most chilling of all, was the killer still out there watching, waiting to strike again? As dawn broke fully, casting long, accusing beams of light through the broken windows, Anna knew one thing for certain: this was only the beginning. The pre-dawn silence ruptured as Detective Anna Cortez's sedan tore through the city's sleeping streets, its siren wailing into the gray morning. Her fingers clenched the steering wheel with white-knuckled intensity while her partner, Detective Chase Bennett, braced against the dashboard, his eyes locked on the GPS. 15 minutes earlier, dispatch had reported a homicide in the industrial sector, and the captain had made it clear this was their case. Anna jerked the wheel violently to avoid a sanitation truck, the tires howling in protest. "Time!" she barked, her voice razor-edged. Chase didn't flinch. 2 minutes 45. Maybe less if you're aiming for vehicular manslaughter charges. The corner of Anna's mouth twitched, but her dark eyes remained deadly serious. Homicide work was a brutal race against the clock. Every passing minute allowed evidence to degrade, witnesses to vanish, killers to disappear into the urban sprawl. A skeletal skyline of abandoned factories rose before them, their broken windows glowing faintly in the creeping dawn. The crime scene tape fluttered around a derelict textile mill, its rusted gates sagging like a drunkard's grin. Patrol cars formed a haphazard perimeter, their swirling lights splashing the scene in garish color. Before the car fully stopped, Anna was moving, badge already in her fist as she hit the pavement at a near run. Chase matched her stride for stride, his trained gaze cataloging details, the spiderweb cracks in the asphalt, the skeletal weeds clawing through concrete, the industrial stench of oil and something fouler beneath it. A uniformed officer, fresh-faced, maybe 6 months on the job, lifted the tape with a nod. "Detectives," he said, his voice tight. "Coroner's en route. You'll want to see for yourselves." The warehouse interior swallowed them in gloom, the air thick with the coppery stench of fresh blood. Their victim, a man in a shredded suit that might have been expensive yesterday, lay in a grotesque parody of repose, his throat opened ear to ear in a grin of torn flesh. The pooling blood still shimmered wetly under their flashlight beams. Chase crouched, careful not to disturb the scene. "No defensive wounds," he murmured. Either this was someone he trusted or he never saw it coming, Anna finished, circling the body. Her flashlight caught a single set of footprints in the dust, in then out. No shell casings. No signs of struggle. Just cold, professional butchery. Her beam suddenly caught a metallic glint near the victim's outstretched hand. Chase. He was beside her in an instant, photographing the small silver key before the SISU team arrived. Safe deposit box? Storage locker. Before they could speculate, brisk footsteps announced Dr. Lin's arrival. The me didn't flinch at the carnage, simply snapped on gloves with practiced efficiency. "Beat the coroner's van, I see. Perks of reckless driving," Anna said. "What's your read?" Lin's gloved fingers probed the wound with clinical precision. "Death within the last 90 minutes. Blade was surgically sharp, probably a hunting knife or tactical weapon. And judging by the clean edges." She glanced up meaningfully. "This wasn't their first time," Chase concluded. Outside, the forensic team's cameras flashed like lightning strikes, documenting every gruesome detail. As dawn's pale light crept through broken windows, Anna studied the blood-stained concrete. Somewhere out there a killer was either panicking or planning their next move. And the clock was still ticking.